perhaps we can schedule a continuation if there is enough interest and if the people in our community are all for it. But I'm sure like we reach all of the continents in the world, and I'm sure this is something that is common to everyone. So probably this is one of those podcasts that gets a lot of attention, especially because we are getting very nice solutions that we can implement to protect ourselves.
Yeah, sure. I will just give two more tips and then we come to the end. There is something called two-factor authentication. Today, all website, email, LinkedIn, every website that you're using provide two-factor authentication. Ensure that you put your two-factor authentication on. Your two-factor authentication can be a simple text message that is they send.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when or how are you watching or listening to us. And thank you for being part of the material business community. My name is Monica Hernandez, and I'm your host on the Material Business Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, to share these episodes with your friends, and then to be part of the community. Today, we have a very special guest, Rajiv. Thank you for coming into the podcast.
You're welcome, Monica.
So, we are going to talk about a very a la mode theme that we have, and that is cybersecurity, how we can be protected. I know that this seems like we have been knowing, like we already know everything, but I promise you we don't. And we were just speaking with Rajiv before we started the podcast, and we said there is new things every day, so he doesn't get bored. But he's going to bring lots of nice and valuable tips for you as a company, as a team, as business owners, as corporate world people and employees, how you can protect your team from something that will cost millions and millions of dollars. So let me first ask you, Rajiv, can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, good morning, everyone. So my name is Rajiv. I am from an island, Mauritius, found between Africa and Australia. And I have been in Canada for almost a year now. So I have been in the field of cybersecurity for the past 20 years. I have worked as a director of cybersecurity and worked across different industries. I have worked for multiple clients for the United States and Europe. And I have also lectured at the university in the cybersecurity field. So, since one year, I have incorporated a company here in Calgary, in Alberta, and my company deals with companies that have zero cybersecurity maturity, basically companies that do not have any knowledge about cybersecurity. I help them start their cybersecurity journey and ensure that we are protecting three important silos: people, process, and technology. Because if you miss one of them, you are vulnerable in cybersecurity. So that's a bit about
Amazing.
myself.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. In Infinity Growth, in our company, we have something called the golden triangle, the golden wheel, actually. And the golden wheel is made of triangles, and each triangle, one of them is people, one of them is tools, and one of them is processes. And if
Yeah,
they work perfect, then your wheel advances, right? And then you go
sure.
where you need to go. So I found it really interesting that we are very looking at things in a very similar mode, just from a different angle. So this seems a really nice moment to speak about it. We have been like we have received emails and we have received threats that would have we allow us to go with our emotion that, oh my God, they are inviting me to be part of some teams, whatever it is, vendor list or then you would have been in a really bad situation. As well as I know there are being companies out there, especially in the industry we work at. Almost this year, almost everyone that I work with have had some sort of cyber attack. So maybe before we bring up the whole presentation, and I don't know if you have numbers in it, can we enlighten the audience with some, like, how much does this cost? Maybe it's
Sure.
in your presentation.
Yeah, sure. Basically, what we need to understand about cybersecurity, when we speak about cybersecurity, many people tend to think that cybersecurity is only technology. But today, hackers have evolved, and the weakest link, unfortunately, in the cybersecurity chain is the human link. And a chain is as strong as its weakest link. So today, hackers are targeting people. They are not targeting technology. Principally, they are targeting people. Just with one email, they can send you with a phishing link. If you
Mhm.
click on that link, you can compromise your whole corporate network. So today, cybersecurity are costing companies lots of money in terms of downtime, in terms of fines. For example, today every law that you have, for example, you have laws in Europe, GDPR, you have in Canada, which is called the PIPEDA, you have provincial laws everywhere in Canada. So those laws, they make specific provision of what happens if you are breached and the information that you are collecting about your customers get in the public domain. So today cybersecurity is costing a lot of money, and according to the latest figures, by next year, cybersecurity will cost the world $10.5 trillion per year. So this is a huge amount of money.
Oh, wow. Trillions. We're not even
Trillion.
talking about billions anymore. Wow, that's huge.
That's
Wow.
huge.
Well, I'll let you start with. I know you prepare some material for our
Sure.
audience. So, if you are listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, Rajiv is going to present and have some visuals. So, if you have the opportunity to go to the YouTube channel, you'll be able to see those visuals that he's putting for us.
Sure. Let me start the presentation. So let's start. So the world is changing, technology is changing, the way that were conducting businesses is changing. Today we are living in the era of artificial intelligence. If you have heard, I'm sure that everyone heard about ChatGPT. ChatGPT is only the start. Artificial intelligence is going to disrupt many industries. Today, artificial intelligence is going to replace, for example, legal assistant. Artificial intelligence is going to get into the medical field. It's going to get in the financial field, and artificial intelligence is basically the ability of machines to inhibit human intelligence. And the other big thing that is happening for sure is Internet of Things. Today, everything is connected to the internet. For example, it's no more about your PCs, it's no more about your phones, it's about your home cameras, it's about your smart home devices. So everything form part of the internet ecosystem. And today we are talking a lot about blockchain technology. Blockchain technology is a technology that is disrupting many the way that we are doing payment, for example. So with all those technological advances, we have lots of bad things happening. For example, if you see the news, today someone can use an AI voice cloning tool, just get a sample of your voice on social media or on YouTube. They can clone a complete conversation, and there have been cases of virtual kidnapping where people have used sample voice of kids, of people, and tried to make fake conversation and try to say that they have been kidnapped just to extort money from the victims. Another big thing that happened this year, uh, a finance executive, I think, got a call from his CEO. It's a video call on WhatsApp, and the hackers use uh, what we call deepfake technology, and they were able to replicate a fake video of the CEO, of the C-level executive, giving instruction to make a payment of $25 million. So today we are not living in the era only of phishing email. The technologies, they have become like an enabler for hackers. And with all those technological advances, today what we see, the digital world is constantly under attack. So let me just show you what is happening in the world right now. What you are seeing here, it's called the live cyber threat map. Those are real attacks going on as we speak. If you see to the left, you are going to see the time. It's 9:58 AM. It's real attacks. Those are attacks that are targeted towards governmental organizations. Those are attacks that are targeted towards private companies. It can be phishing attack. It can be attacks delivering malware payloads. And if you see, almost all countries are being attacked right now. You see, for example, there is an attack from the United States that are targeted to somewhere here. I think it's in Vietnam or Philippines. So those attacks are real, and those attacks are being captured by one vendor only. Today we have several security vendors. This live threat map that you are seeing here is from Checkpoint, and today you have so many vendors. And if you put all those information from all vendors on this map, you are going to see only lines appearing. So attacks here are real. So let me continue.
I love it. It's better when you can put, and I always, like, my team will laugh about me about this because I'm very visual. So when you are watching something or visualizing something, it gets the image. It's like when they tell you don't click on that link, it's not because they want to, they don't have anything to do and they want to bother you. It's because I saw in the top of that window that you were showing 6,600,000 something. So really, it is people that are dedicated to do this, and it's going to end up in a very disastrous conclusion. So wow, thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome, Monica. And one important thing today, regardless of the industry that you can be in the financial, in the education, in the healthcare industry, all industries are being attacked today. So we need to be very careful. And just before that, we spoke about Internet of Things. Today, we don't have only Google. Google is a search engine for website. When you're going to Google, for example, the best hotels, for example, I don't know, in Europe, you're going to get websites. But today you have a search engine for Internet of Things. And what you are seeing here is called Shodan.io. For example, today, if you put a camera system that is connected to the internet and from your mobile phone, you can view your home, what is happening in your home. Very often, those camera system, they become part of the internet, and hackers can search those internet connected things as a search website, and Shodan.io is one of the search engine for Internet of Things. I'm just going to show you something interesting. If you see here, that's Shodan.io, and if I just want to know how many computers that are open to the internet and have remote desktop open. For example, the port that I'm showing you here, 3389, you have more than 4.5 million uh, PCs that have open remote desktop open. For example, if you need to access a PC, you just click on that link, it will open that link. You have other devices that you can check. For example, you can check for webcam, you can check for camera system, and all those Internet of Things devices, they show up on that search engine. And today we need to be very careful what we are connecting on the internet, because it's no more about your PC, because hackers can exploit those Internet of Things device. For example, those cameras, those smart devices, they very often come what we call with firmware, and they have no embedded security. So how a cyber attack is going on in 2024? Hackers are going through your camera, accessing your router at home, and get infiltrated in your PC. So the camera become like an attack path. We call it an attack vector. It comes through your camera, gets to your PC, steal your information, activate your webcam, steal your information from your PC. This is scary what's happening today. So
Wow. And we I don't have Alexa. I have never wanted Alexa in my house, but with Alexa, we have all those informations about our all our lives pretty much, and they're readily available for someone just to get into a web like this and get access to.
yes, I mean the Internet of Things devices, all of them, basically they are not secure as a PC because why? When you compare an Internet of Thing with a PC or a laptop, for example, on a laptop you have multi-layered security that you can put. You can put on your firewall, you can install an updated antivirus, you can put different layers of security. For example, you can give your kids a limited account without administrative privileges. Even if they get infected, the impact will be minimal. So you have different types of security measures that you can take on PCs, devices that come with inbuilt security. But unfortunately, these Internet of Things devices very often they have very poor security mechanism. And
Mhm.
coming to the different estimation about cyber attack that we just recently talked. Cyber crime will cost companies by 2025 $10.5 trillion. And when we speak about trillion, is 1 million times 1 million is basically one with 12 zeros. 10.5 times 10 to the power of 12 dollars is huge amount of money, and
Wow.
this is scary.
Wow. Like, who can compete with this? We need
That's
to protect ourselves because once you have to pay all the bills, it's like you're out of business pretty much.
Yeah, you are out of business. And the problem is why we need to understand why cybercrime has evolved to reach like 10.5 trillion. We need to understand that slide. Long ago,
Mhm.
we had a perimeter. What do I mean by perimeter? Like in the year 2010, 2005, everyone needed to go to office. So, and all servers, all system was secured in the premises of the office. Every pieces were there. We needed to go to have access to that office, and that office had a security perimeter defined by firewalls, intrusion detection system, intrusion prevention system. But today we have moved from work from office to work from home. Now we are working from anywhere. So the perimeter no longer exists. The data that was very secure in that whole perimeter in the on-site office, today it's on the company's laptop. It is on the company's mobile phone. It's everywhere. So today you don't have a particular attack surface that you can secure everywhere the data is. Part of the data is on the cloud. So we are living in what we call a perimeterless network. So data is everywhere. We need to take precautions. We need to take security measures almost everywhere. And if we miss one of them, it's enough for hackers to attack us. Today, attack vectors, what is an attack vector? It is a path that a hacker or a cyber criminal can take to compromise you. For example, today the best way that hackers have seen is phishing email. Today, they have seen that if they send a very personalized email with your name and stating, for example, where you meet, basically the hacker will do some type of reconnaissance on you before sending you that mail. For example, they can search for your information on LinkedIn, they will access your Facebook account, they will try to see in what networking event you have recently been, and they will put this information on email. For example, hi Monica, we just met in XYZ event in Calgary. I hope you are well. I'm following up. I just wanted to do some business with you, and they will put an infected attachment, or they will click. They will ask you to click on a link. This is what the goal of a phishing mail is. So today it's become so easy because the hacker, the moment that you double click on that attachment, he is already on your network. He's already on your PC. He already has access to your data. So it's become very, very very, very easy. Instead of hacking your router, going on your firewall, and compromising your network, so it's very easy this way. And unfortunately, today we are not talking only about phishing. It's about smishing. The same attack comes by normal SMS. It's about quishing. If you know about QR code, today you have QR code set up, for example, everywhere. They say, just scan this code. It's a free Wi-Fi network, or scan this code. This is my contact LinkedIn, my LinkedIn contact, and they embed malware in that QR code. This is called quishing. It's about smishing. It's about vishing. When the same attack comes by the voice, it's vishing. So there are different attack vectors. Today we are speaking about compromised password that we are going to cover a bit later. Today it's about social engineering. Social engineering, what is social engineering? It's it's psychological manipulation. When someone sends you a spear phishing mail dedicated to you, they are going to manipulate you to click on that link. This is what social engineering is about. And you have man in the middle attack, which is one of the great way hackers steal your information. And how this happens, you go, for example, in a hotel, you connect in the Wi-Fi network, you might never know who is on that network. Maybe someone is putting a fake Wi-Fi hotspot. You have access to a fake Wi-Fi hotspot. They give you internet access, and the hacker is getting all the traffic that you are accessing, and they steal your credential, your email, your password, and another way is malware that they can use to compromise your network. So these are the attack vectors.
Wow, that's something.
And today, when you see, Monica, the companies that got hacked, there are so many companies, big companies that got hacked. And very often, when you go and dive into how those attacks occur, it's almost always 90%, 95%. It's due to a human error. Someone clicking on a link, someone opening an attachment, or someone doing something that they are not supposed to do. So those are attacks going on everywhere, and very often the weakest link is always a human link. You have maybe heard of the Ashley Madison hack. The Ashley Madison hack, where 32 million records got hacked, and this is one kind of funny because people thought that they were. It's a site that match married people to have extramarital affairs. So basically, hackers, what they did, they stole the database of Ashley Madison, and they get 32 million records of people, where they live, with their, I think there were credit card information as well, and they would use those information to cause some type of harm at a later point in time. They will try to scam people. They will say that
And
they have their,
blackmail them. I mean,
yeah.
they know that you have cheated your wife, and they are like, "Oh, hey, buddy, we know what you've done."
Yeah, you were an Ashley Madison, right? So you need to pay me now $1,000 by Bitcoin, so that it's not traceable, you know. So the big thing that happens is that 95% of all cyber attacks are caused by human error, and this is what my company is doing. We educate. We do the best security program to educate people, so that the hackers do not compromise the human link. So what we are patching the human link. And for the cybersecurity awareness, we have 15 ways that we show how to protect. This is a generous cybersecurity awareness, but today I'm going, for the sake of this presentation, I'm going to show you something which is very important. If I ask you one question, Monica, what is the most common way you use to protect accounts online?
Your passwords.
Right, passwords. Now I have another question for you. If you need to select between those two passwords, there is a password up and down, there's another password. Which password do you think is more secure?
The first one,
The first one. And why do you say the first one?
because it has more characters. It is not like, it doesn't have a script, or is not something that I can say. And it has numbers and all that they say to have a password.
All right, let me show you something that will amaze you. Uh, I'm going to show you something very important. There's a there is a site called How Secure Is My Password. How secure is my password? Check password strength. So now what I'm going to bring to you those two passwords. There is the first password here. I'm going to check the password strength here. I'm going to copy that password and paste it here. This password takes only 5 years to crack. And if it mixes one letter, it's only 3 weeks. And now I'm going to select the second password that we all think that this password is not good.
So I wasn't the first one.
This password takes 29 sep
Yeah.
10 decillion years to crack. And if you're going to tell me how many zeros are there in 1 sep 10 decillion years, I don't know. So everyone is making the fundamental mistake that complex password and short should be we should use
Better.
that.
Hmm.
In fact, those passwords are very weak. We need to use very long password, the password that I showed you. And if you see the password, the second password, it has an uppercase character. The B is in uppercase. You have lowercase characters, you have numbers, and you have even a special character. So you are meeting the password requirement. Very often they ask you for a lowercase, an uppercase, a number, and a special character, and this
Yeah.
password is meeting. And in 2024, if you're using the first password, I can assure you that most probably that your password has already been hacked. Because why? Password come in terms of permutation and combination. What hackers they normally do, they use tools that are going to try different types of password, and they are going to compute the hash of the password. So basically, if you see the first password, the number of combination when you are using short password, this one is a relatively short number of combination, which start, even the number seems to be very big, but it can take only 3 weeks for a, a server to crack this password. But look at the other password, look at the number of combination, the number that is
Yeah.
underneath. So it's practically impossible for you to crack this password. So my advice to do my main key takeaway for the audience, if you are using short password, if you are using password that contains your name, date of birth, this is very, very dangerous. You need to use what we call pass phrases. And these are example of passwords that you should use. Calgary is my city of birth. I was born in 1980. I just put the A like an at sign, and it
Mm.
is very easy for me to remember. And this password is very strong. It has an uppercase, it has a lowercase, it has a number, it has a special character, and most importantly, I can remember this password.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, this is really interesting.
Yeah, and the other password, I'm just giving some suggestion. Nothing beats a good pizza. I'm a fan of eating pizza, so nothing beats a good pizza in 2024.
Yeah.
Just the I have put it has become a special character, and it's very easy. The stars whisper to me at 1980. So this is another password, very easy to remember. So my advice to everyone, especially if you're using passwords on your internet banking, if you're using
Mm.
passwords on your PayPal account, if you're using passwords on where you have medical records, if you're using password that you have put your credit card information, ensure you are not using weak passwords. It should be passphrases. All my passwords are more than 25 characters, but sometimes there are some limitations in terms of sites or
Yeah.
systems. They give you only like 20 characters. If they give you 20 characters, you always choose 20 characters. So this is
Okay.
very important. But
So you
there are
maximize the use of the characters they give you,
uh, I,
actually.
yeah, I beg your pardon, Monica. Could you please repeat your question?
For sure. No, I'm just saying, and reinforcing this is to the audiences, maximize the number of characters that they give you to use. and
Yes.
they don't give you anything like 20 and more. I think after this training, everyone, at least that is listening, at least me, I'm going to go and change all my passwords. And this is breaking a taboo, not taboo, but this is breaking as something that they have always told us, that it needs to be difficult. So because it needs to be difficult, I never remember them. So I
Yeah.
have them written somewhere, but if they enter in my computer, then they'll know that I have it. Don't go into my computer, dear hackers, because it's not true. But it is just an example. It is um, because they told us it needs to be difficult. We all imagine it has to have all those weird things, and then we don't remember them. But actually, choosing a long statement, a long sentence, something like that, it will make it more secure and easier on you. So I love that tip. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I give you another tip as well. Many people do not know. You can put space in passwords. All system
Oh,
accept space. And when you put space in password, you make your password very secure because when hackers are going to trying to brute force your password, they cannot send very often the system cannot send space. So for example, if you are going to say nothing beats a good pizza in 2024, you can put space after nothing, after beats, after a, after good, after pizza. So use spaces when you're going to set up your passwords.
awesome.
Yeah, and I just want to mention to you that today hackers they are trying. For example, I have been through one of the case where someone that had access to a very sensitive financial account, which was on the internet, getting breached. So how the hackers hack his password? Basically, he put a picture of his son and a birthday cake, and there was the age on that birthday cake. So the hacker, what he did, it's amazing the way they think. He reverse engineered the age, got the year the boy was born. He used the name and the year, and he got access to that account. There are so many people they use their kid's name and the year that they were born, like date of birth. This is a very wrong practice because very often those information are already in the public domain because many people know when you are born, what is the name of your son, what is the name of your daughter. You need to be very careful not to use their names as password. Now I'm going to show you something which is very important. I know that many people make reuse their password, meaning that they make use of the same password on different accounts. So this is a very dangerous practice. Let me show you what happened. For example, Monica, if you're using your email and your password and a particular password on Facebook, and you are using the same email and same password, let's say on your LinkedIn account. The problem is that the day that Facebook, if it happens, the database of Facebook where the password is located gets breached, the hacker will have access to your email and your password. And at that point in time, what you need to understand, your user ID very often is your email address. So you basically use your phone number or your user ID everywhere on every account, and this is already in the public domain. So what the hacker will try to do, they will try to use the same email and the same password on your LinkedIn account. They will try to use the same password and same email and same password, for example, on your internet banking. So this is a very dangerous practice. If you're reusing passwords, it's a very dangerous practice. So how should you tackle this issue? Basically, it has been shown that the normal human being makes use of approximately 100 different accounts. You can't remember all 100 different accounts. You need to make use of a password manager in that case. And very often, people that do not buy a professional password manager, they use for example, their browser as a password manager, although this is not a very good security practice, but it is better to use different passwords on every account that you have, because the day that the passwords get breached, you are sure that your other accounts remain safe. So these are some example. For example, Marriott International, their database password get breached, and there were 500 million customers, user ID and password. And what the hackers will do, they will try the same user ID and same password on a different account. Adult Friend Finder, 412 million. LinkedIn, 165 million. Those are real database breaches that happen. And I'm going to show you a very important tool today as well. It's called Have I Been PWNED. What it does basically, uh, you just tap Have I Been PWNED. What it does, the first thing that it does, you put your email address here, you type on PWNED. If your email and password have been breached, it will tell you your email and password was on this database. My email and password was on 5 database breach. It's not an issue with me, it's an issue with the company that I registered. So
Mm-hmm.
when you get that and you're using the same password, that is very dangerous. So what you need to do, you see it's written here, notify me. You click on notify me. You put your email address, and the day that there is a breach and they find your email address, you will get an email on the same day. And then you know that on that particular website, my email and password were there. It has been breached. If you're using the same password, you need to change it everywhere. So I would advise everyone to check here if their email has been already in a breach and click on notify me to ensure that for future breaches, they are notified if there is ever a breach where their email has been compromised.
Wow. You're scaring me, Rajiv. But it's not all that. Like, and this is material business community. We come and bring new things, but we also come with solutions. So we've learned a couple of solutions already. Now we have a homework to do right after. And the
Sure.
time is coming up to an end. So maybe a couple of more tips, and then I'm sure there will be more time. Perhaps we can schedule a continuation in if there is enough interest, and if the people in our community are all for it. But I'm sure, like, we reach all of the continents in the world, and I'm sure this is something that is common to everyone. So probably this is one of those podcasts that gets a lot of attention, especially because we are getting very nice solutions that we can implement to protect ourselves.
Yeah, sure. I will just give two more tips and then we come to the end. There is something called two-factor authentication. Today, all website, email, LinkedIn, every website that you're using provide two-factor authentication. Ensure that you put your two-factor authentication on. Your two-factor authentication can be a simple text message
Mhm.
that is they send you an SMS with a code when you are going to put your username and password. And then even if your email and password get breached, this is a very strong way to protect your account from unauthorized access. And for example, you can put that on Facebook, you can put that on Google. So we come to the end of this presentation, and I hope that this has been informative for you.
It is. It is like I said. It is not only giving us, okay, this is what can happen, but this is how like in a simplistic way of doing things, you can act and be part of the solution instead of being part of the problem. Now you have a QR code there. And before you said that the QR codes sometimes get hacked and then you get something in your system or whatever. I also, when I go into presentations, I put the QR code because it's easier for people just to. So how we can ensure people that these QR codes that we legit people are putting it are secure for them.
Yes, one important uh, way that you can ensure that you do not get breached with a QR code, when you're going to scan the QR code, the link will appear. Once you
Mm-hmm.
get the link, ensure that the proper domain name is spelled. For example, you have LinkedIn, it should
Mm-hmm.
be linked.com. It should not be linked.in.com. This is a fake uh, this is a fake domain name. So it's very, very important that you are checking the link where it is pointing you. And if you find a short URL, I normally do not click. You know what is a short URL like bit.ly
Mm-hmm.
slash, because there's a website that is hidden.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I can't show you. It takes too much time. There's a website that is hidden besides a short URL. So if it's a short URL, you can copy it. There's a site called virustotal.com. Virustotal.com is a site that uses 62 antivirus. You can scan websites, you can scan links that you get on your email. Go and scan it with VirusTotal. It will tell you if this link is legitimate or not.
Amazing. And you have your contact information here. So if anyone in the audience wants to get in contact, he is global, so he can do business everywhere and anywhere. So no problem with that. But if you're in Calgary, he definitely can see you or your team face to face. And thank you for making part of the educational part. Like in our domain, we talk a lot about education. That's why this podcast was born, to spread knowledge and to learn a little bit more about everything that is going around us. But today has been exceptional. Thank you so much,
You're
Rajiv,
welcome.
for coming up, telling us all those beautiful and easy things to do. I like easy because it's sustainable. If it's difficult, it's not sustainable. So I like when it's easy and it's effective. So thank you for that.
Sure.
Uh,
And just to mention the among those 15 ways that we protect organizations, only one way. Just imagine you have 14 ways that you do not know. And all
yeah.
those 15 are very, very important. So I would also audience, if they want like cybersecurity training for their companies, if they want to start their cybersecurity journey, please get in touch with me. I'm more than happy to help. Thank you so much, Monica, for giving me this opportunity to be on the podcast today.
Well, my pleasure. And maybe you can stop sharing and then we can say bye to the audience.
Yeah, sure, sure.
And so, Rajiv, thank you so much. It was very nice to see you again. To the audience, I think this is very important. And like we said before, if we don't, and we say this all the time when we are doing engineering projects, everything that is going to be down the line, downstream of your pipeline, is going to be decided at the design stage. So make sure that you have someone that is good looking at your things. And perhaps your company is only one person. It doesn't matter because eventually it will grow or you have clients or something. So it's very important that we protect not only our families, but our teams and everyone else around us because it's very costly. Brigitte, again, thank you so much for
Thank
coming.
you. Thank you so
And
much.
to the audience, we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for being part of the Material Business family.
Goodbye.